last night I was watching Cosmos, and the episode that I got to watch actually discussed aspects of our brain. And when they started to do brain imaging and understand the brain, and neuroscience was not something that he focused on, but he showed and shared how the beginning of tracking our brain and what it does during our sleep and stuff like that. And it was interesting because he mentions rituals. In fact, it all began with an ancient Greek story, or Greece somewhere, somehow, forget the names of the people, but epilepsy, and how they did the ritual of giving to the gods goat's blood or something like that, so that the epilepsy would go away. And, he's talking and I'm learning, or I was half awake, I don't remember. Long story short, as a 5D mystic, I was like, this is really a great explanation. Because he went on to talk explanation about what? That we have neurons and neuroscience. So not the part about the giving to the rituals, not the rituals, no. That's the part that I'm trying to get out of my mouth, is that any 5D mystic is somebody who knows that science and spirituality, science, metaphysics, esotericism, that the pseudoscience, it's fine to use the term, meaning we know that machines and technology can reveal this relationship with this sphere of energy. In fact, neuroscience is really awesome as a field, and so is learning about the mind. I got to learn, and I'm still learning it from my interpersonal neurobiology course with Daniel Siegel. And so knowing about the brain, which is an embodied brain, so it's connected to our nervous system, it's really awesome. And that's where the IHP content, we always integrate the psychoeducation, because I stay updated as much as possible, as well as moving more and more into the supporting through mindfulness practitioner work as well, and meditation. But that's because it works the cortex. It's not because of mindfulness being something special, if you will. Actually, mind sight, which is what I'm getting from the interpersonal neurobiology course, is even better, because with mind sight, you do mind sifting. So you not only work with your cortex, your neocortex, you also learn how to ensure you are looking to those images, sensations, and bringing it all together. And learn, it's based on the person who's either supporting someone on a personal development journey, or those who are therapists, obviously they do that. And those who are channelers, though, here's where, again, as a 5D mystic, we do use words for reasons, but the difference is, again, while 4D stays within the realms of belief systems and that rituals are what make things work, we know that that's not the ritual. It's a relationship with a field that is energy, and it's a lot bigger than we can have all answers for, but that some of the answers are being given to us through physics or quantum physics, neuroscience. So when you look at the optimized embodied brain for a person, the well-being of a human being, it's in an integrated brain, or integration of the mind. So when all hands are on deck, left-right mode, communicate together, your default mode network is downregulated. They see in the scanners how this is, what is happening, okay? Long story short, again, a little intro here to just say, being in the mysticism realm for a 5D person, it's not because we don't take the science seriously. Actually, we do. And it empowers our communication. Because while you see individuals who are married to the ancients and say the ancients know, the past knows, the rituals know, they knew, and they gave us answers and provided answers or ways to try to work through things that we did not know about, which now we do know about, like epilepsy, and how giving to giving the blood of a goat is not what's going to help epilepsy. Just saying. So here's the part of where it's not taking away from the ability to work with the sphere of energy and these planes. I'm a Reiki practitioner, I'm a distance healer, and sometimes people will tease, well, if we're all the same energy, then I can do it myself. Yes, you could. Technically, that's the truth. However, there are people who are inclined to be open to this type of energy work, and also it's because of the relationship that we have. So when people make fun of me being a Reiki practitioner or a tarot card reader or a Akashic record reader, even though, I mean, that's the fun part. There's the ones who call us the devil and they label us evil because the theologians from the ancient times are creating scripture. They're actually doing research. I mean, I went to school and I did research, which is why sometimes I'm like, research, okay. Based on what are you're not giving me the seal of approval from ancient texts, and you're now defining a group of people and something that is actually energy in a way that comes from a belief system. And yet you're wanting to do research and build an empirical, what are we talking about? So we take steps back, meaning any common sense person is going to know that Reiki is not anything related to this word devil or evil. Not to mention that the word in and of itself should not be used, because that's where in the past was used in only scriptures. And when you look at people, they're not evil. If they're not well mannered, it's because of things that are called inner situations that they could use, a lot of them, a good somatic sensory-motor trauma expert to get their well-being intact, to start working with their energy body, their emotional plane, their left and right mode, to integrate their mind. Instead of using the adaptive child projection, because that's what the charge states of the individuals who are doing this and yelling at each other, doesn't matter what. So there are those who are mystics who will be like, oh my gosh, how dare this person talk about, no, rituals, they have to be. It's like, no, these are subject matters, excuse me. Thankfully, I have experience in the sphere of consciousness, so I'm like, yeah, my experience. You know what I found out about Reiki? Not only that the initial Reiki master person, there were no chakras in it. Also, it's the universal energy, so you don't need to activate or ask permission or anything like that. Of course we do. I respect my teachings. I will always do that because that's the right thing to do. But you better bet that if I'm in a room and there are people who are open to it, I've noticed their energy goes. Energy goes where it's wanted, because we're one energy. This is the point. So when that happened, I went to start doing some research. I was like, okay, there is no thing of permission here. It's basically all of us are the same energy. And this is why, as I was saying, I love Cosmos and what they were talking about. Very basic science, very good educational information for kids to start learning about the sphere of consciousness and energy and anything neuroscience. Is better for them to have the science than the people who want to sell them the ancient story. And then they dismiss aspects that, for example, I've seen people in 4D land, how dare they, those nosy, what was it? This one lady, she's calling people who are, oh shoot. Anyways, these individuals that have the premonition, they can see things, and this lady's calling them nosy. They didn't choose to be able and tap into that layer. So why are you calling a human being nosy? Because you don't like it. And you're supposed to be what? What are you? You some special human being out there that can tell people, oh, why? Your Akashic record readings are fine. But the people who can see something are not fine. So it's a very teenage game, I might add, for the 4D realm. And very annoying at that for anybody who has a relationship with this sphere of energy as energy, not a supernatural. But we do respect the ancient teachings to the best of our ability. In the absence of venerating and, oh, let me put you on a pedestal because you come from the ancient times. No, I'm not going to put anything on the pedestal. So if you are an integrated brain, means you can differentiate and link. It means you know, you think, and you feel. And oh, guess what? You don't have to believe everything. And it's very easy to respectfully say, thank you so much for sharing with me this information. I am going to keep talking to you, or maybe no, I'll turn around. It's either way. There's a way that people who actually know you and I were not the same person. You didn't live in my body. I'm not living in yours. I'm not in your head. You ain't in my head. And guess what? You and I didn't have the same educational system either, maybe. And what are we doing? So if we're having a pleasant conversation, that means we're exchanging information. And when science has something to say, the people who are smart, stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable, mystics or not, they're going to be like, this is so empowering and interesting. Because it adds and lets everybody know that there's this big field of energy and it's not super something, whatever. It's actually big, and there's a lot of things we don't know, and we can keep learning together. We don't need to fight about knowledge. That's the beauty of gaining it. It's empowering. So educationally and entertainmentally, come on, tune on in to the lovely episodes on the IHP podcast. And I hope you're having a wonderful day with our Leo seasons energy all about, and the Lionsgate portal on coming up on the 8/8.